lightweight division is considered one of MMA's strongest weight classes, and former WEC and Strikeforce champion Gilbert Melendez was one of its first superstars. After finding success in every promotion he fought in, Gilbert signed for the UFC looking to add a final feather to his cap. What followed were 6 years of poor form, failed drug tests, and the most infamous spelling error in MMA history. Welcome to the INC, and this is the story of Gilbert Melendez in the UFC. Before Conor or Khabib ever set foot in the octagon, Gilbert Melendez set the benchmark for what the lightweight division had to offer. After abandoning his dream to become a school teacher, Gilbert made his MMA debut competing for WEC, winning the company's lightweight title in only his fourth pro fight, before successful spells with Shuto and Pride where he earned the El Niño nickname due to his aggressive fighting style. It was Gilbert's run with Strikeforce, however, that put his name on the map. Over a 6-year tenure, the Californian amassed the most wins and title defenses in company history, as well as the most significant strikes landed, while his role with the infamous Scrap Pack made him a notorious figure amongst MMA circles. Gilbert's run also saw him beat a number of top stars, scoring wins over Clay Guida, Jorge Masvidal, and Tatsuya Kawajiri before twice avenging his loss to Josh Thompson in one of the greatest trilogies in MMA history. By the time Strikeforce closed in 2013, Gilbert staked a claim as the company's biggest star behind Ronda Rousey, and when its roster merged with the UFC shortly after, the Californian was expected to be an immediate player at 155. Gilbert made his debut at UFC on Fox against lightweight champion Benson Henderson, making him one of the select few to compete for a UFC title in his first match with the promotion. The event took place in Strikeforce's home base of San Jose, and featured an undercard of company talent including Josh Thompson, Daniel Cormier, and Yoel Romero. The fight played out at a blistering pace over 25 minutes, with Benson finding success with kicks and takedowns, and Gilbert getting the upper hand during the striking exchanges. Despite the majority of fans scoring the fight for Gilbert, Benson was given a controversial split decision, much to the chagrin of the hometown crowd. Benson's attempt to win the crowd by proposing to his girlfriend did little to ease hostilities. Despite calls for an immediate rematch, Gilbert was instead booked against Ultimate Fighter legend Diego Sanchez on the main card of UFC 166. With both men known for their aggressive fighting styles, fans penciled the match as a potential fight of the night contender. What followed surpassed all expectations, with the two men savagely brawling in the pocket during a succession of wild flurries. With Gilbert gaining the upper hand in the first 2 rounds, Sanchez knew he needed something amazing, something extra if he was going to pull off the comeback win. And in the final minute of the 3rd round, he nearly got it.
Oh! Sanchez rocks him! Takes it back! Looks for the choke!
Gilbert held on to claim the unanimous decision, in a fight Joe Rogan immediately declared as one of the greatest he'd ever seen. Little did fans know at the time, it would be his sole win in his UFC tenure. After just missing out on the belt and an all-time classic, Gilbert seemed set for a long and fruitful tenure with the UFC. So it came as a shock when rumors spread of Gilbert accepting a big money deal to sign with Bellator in 2014. Rather than sign a new deal, the UFC had taken over the remaining fights from Gilbert's Strikeforce contract and formally entered free agency following the Sanchez fight. It's safe to say Gilbert's decision didn't go down well with his current boss.
If he fucking signs a deal with those guys, he ain't going anywhere. Nobody can get out of those fucking deals they have. And Viacom will sue you till you fucking bleed. Sue you till you bleed. Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game over there. Everybody wants to talk about the UFC like we're bullies and whatever. They're the fucking bullies. And they got these contracts that you cannot get out of.
At the last minute, the UFC decided to match Bellator's contract, with some extra incentives. A bump in base pay, a coaching role on the 20th season of The Ultimate Fighter, and a second title shot against newly crowned champ Anthony Pettis at UFC 181. Gilbert found success early by crowding Pettis' striking game, arguably doing enough to win the first round, before a momentum shift the way of the champion led to a guillotine late in the second, marking the only stoppage loss of Gilbert's career.
He Unbelievable.
Gilbert was frustrated once more in a split decision loss to Bellator champion Eddie Alvarez, before being tabbed as a short notice replacement to face Al Iaquinta at Fight Night San Diego. The match, however, never took place, as Gilbert was flagged by USADA after testosterone metabolites were found in his system following the bout with Alvarez, receiving a 1-year suspension and losing his lightweight ranking in the process. The biggest blow to Gilbert's stock, however, came from the fashion industry. In 2014, the UFC announced a deal with sportswear firm Reebok, with the company's new fight kits being launched in a lavish ceremony the following year. Reebok's initial launch was marred with design errors and controversies, the most infamous involving Gilbert, with early versions of his fight kit incorrectly spelling his first name. While the mistake was eventually amended, Giblert became a recurring joke in the MMA community, and added with his downturn in form, gave Gilbert an illegitimacy he was never able to recover from. Although fans had lost faith in Gilbert, the UFC remained committed to their fallen star, with his comeback fight against Edson Barboza being given the co-main slot of Fight Night Chicago. Gilbert remained competitive over the first 5 minutes, before Edson's patented leg kicks saw him take control by the start of the second round. Another decision loss soon followed, and with it, more questions over Gilbert's future with the promotion. A dramatic change was needed if El Nino wanted a second win to his career. When Gilbert returned to action 14 months later, he did so as a featherweight, taking on division veteran Jeremy Stephens on the main card of UFC 215. Leg kicks would again play a pivotal role, as Stephens' constant attacks dropped Gilbert on multiple occasions throughout the fight, with Gilbert later admitting the pain was so severe he considered quitting on his stool at the end of the second round. A fight of the night bonus did little to ease the burden of a 5th loss in 6 fights. Gilbert would spend the next 2 years recovering from his injuries, but at 37 years old, doubts were raised over whether the former champion would return to his former glory. A one-sided loss to Arnold Allen quickly followed at UFC 239, after which Gilbert admitted his time as a fighter was likely coming to an end.
It's no secret I've been on the 4th quarter, and I fought when no one knew about fighting, and then I fought when everyone knew about fighting, and I'm fighting still because I like it, not for popularity, not for anything, not because I want to win, not because I want to protect my brand, just because I love to challenge myself. And I leveled up today just being out there and challenging myself, and unfortunately it didn't work out, but it was fun. It was fun. I had a good time, I wish I could have done more.
Gilbert never got the chance to decide his own fate. In October 2019, Gilbert tested positive for the growth hormone GHRP6, and he was granted a 2-year suspension by USADA. This, added with his 5-fight losing streak, led the UFC to release him from his contract a month later. Despite this, Gilbert still managed to secure a role in the sport, working as an analyst and MMA coach, most notably for his wife Carrie, who currently holds a 5-fight unbeaten streak competing for Bellator. The same company Gilbert turned down 7 years earlier in what proved the turning point of his career. With 23 fights before joining the UFC, it's safe to argue wear and tear was a big factor in Gilbert's downfall. The years of 5-round wars taking their toll by the time he was octagon bound. Bad luck, however, was also a factor. Had he claimed the Benson and Alvarez wins, his decline would have been treated with more sympathy than what it ultimately ended up being. Despite the sour final chapter, Gilbert deserves his place as one of lightweight's all-time greats. The kind that makes you want to wear your overpriced, misspelled shirt with pride. Or should that be Pier de? This is the INC. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a video.